Today, the white cane works both as a tool for the visually impaired, but also as a symbol. However, this wasn't always the case. Throughout history, the cane, the staff, and the walking stick have been used for independent travel for the visually impaired. Going all the way back to biblical times, records show that a shepherd's hook was used by the blind for independent travel. Now, this was the way it was for centuries, and it wasn't until the 20th century that the white cane became a symbol to indicate that someone was visually impaired. But who invented it? Who was the first? Well, that honor goes to James Biggs of Bristol, England. Biggs lost his sight due to an accident, and in 1921, he decided to paint his cane white to make it more visible to the increased motorized traffic in his area. In 1931, a lady named Gilly D. Herdmont began a white stick movement in France. And right around the same time, the BBC announced on their radio show that blind people should be given a white stick to help identify them as being visually impaired. Here in the US, we attribute the adoption of the white cane to the Lions Club International. The story goes that also in the early 30s, a Lions Club member was observing a blind man trying to cross a busy street using a black cane. This gentleman also realized that if they painted the cane white, it would make it more visible to the oncoming traffic. So in 1931, the Lions Club International began a national program to promote the white cane. Up to this point, there wasn't really a standardized way to use the white cane. Well, that all changed shortly after World War II when Dr. Richard Hoover created the long cane, or the Hoover method of cane travel. The first special white cane ordinance was passed in Peoria, Illinois in the early 30s, and this granted blind pedestrians special privileges and right-of-way while carrying their white cane. Over the next 30 years, many more states and even some countries continued this, granting blind pedestrians more and more rights. Then in the early 60s, several organizations and voc rehab agencies urged Congress to proclaim October 15th of every year White Cane Safety Day here in the US. Then in 1964, Lyndon B. Johnson became the first president in history to proclaim October 15th National White Cane Safety Day. The presidential proclamation emphasized the significance of the cane as both a tool and a visible symbol. In that first proclamation, President Johnson commended blind people for the growing spirit of independence and their increased determination to be self-reliant and dignified.